learned how to lucid dream when I was younger. I was
What
reading a book about it, and like if you prop yourself up against a wall,
Yeah.
and comfortably put your arm there, when you fall asleep, your arm will come and hit your chest. But sometimes it'll wake you up, but there are like some minute times where it will just wake your conscious up, but not your body.
Yeah.
So then you can control your dreams.
So you can control your dreams. I controlled one of my dreams last night. I'm not kidding. I had a pet elephant.
You fucking lying.
I'm not kidding.
She lived an entire lifetime in that dream.
I did. I lived like at least 2 weeks. Like, it was enough for me to like fight with my mom over this pet elephant.
Yeah.
She was a baby. She was tiny. And she kept like turning from like blue and yellow to like regular elephant colors.
What a pet elephant.
Oh my God, it was so cool.
For how like fantasy Inception was, it was pretty realistic as far as just how dreams feel. Like they feel like a week went by in your dream and you're like, oh, I just slept for 7 hours.
Sometimes it's unfair because I wake up and I feel like I'm exhausted. Like I just changed the world. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, I didn't do anything.
You know what? My dreams, unfortunately, I've been sleeping with a moon rock, but on the lucid dreams talk, my friend told me if you stare at your hands for like 5 to 10 minutes before you go to sleep, that you'll have more lucid dreams because you're able to recognize your hand outside of a dream. So when you get into your dreams, you'll start looking at your hands and you'll realize that it's a dream.
It's true. It's with your hands and it's also with numbers. So if you look at a clock or anything like that, you'll notice if you like stare at a clock before you go to bed and you notice like how tactile and like, you know, put together it is.
Yeah.
In the dream, the numbers will be all fucked up. The shit will always like turn weird.
Yeah.
And that's when you can be like, oh shit, I'm in a dream. I've done that before.
Yeah. I'm about to start doing that shit again. My dreams have been fucked up lately, yo.
Really?
Last night I had a dream that, so my grandmother, who is black on my dad's side, and my mom's mom is from Greece, but she grew up in Guyana. They merged into one person and possessed me.
Whoa.
And so I was talking to someone, I think I was talking to Matt, and all of a sudden I looked in the mirror and I was my grandmother's, both of them merged, and I was possessed. And like I was talking in their voices. They weren't evil or anything, but I was just like talking in like their voice, and I was like, how are you? And like it was fucking weird, dude. It was trippy. It was kind of scary though.
We gotta like look that shit up. We gotta get you that dream book.
Maybe they were just trying to communicate to you.
Yeah.
100%. You know what? I've asked my ancestors to like come and talk to me before, like on some like, yo, I need your help. Like come fucking through. Like, and I feel like it works.
Yeah.
Just gotta talk to them.
Yeah, Courtney doesn't like to talk about this, but she has low-key psychic powers.
I bet you do.
Well, fam.
My mother. Let's talk about it.
I'm just saying, if I had that, I would be like, fuck yeah, this is tight.
It's not about, I don't have psychic powers.
No, here's the thing. Before you even, everybody has psychic ability,
yeah.
but most of us, more like 95% of us, are not vulnerable or like authentic enough to tap into it. So if you've got that, that just reflects who you are as a human being.
You know, my mom did a lot of, not witchcraft, but like a lot of like, my grandpa was a shaman. Yeah. And my mom used to do this thing with this glass, and she'd fill it halfway with the liquid, and she'd take a needle and put it on a white string, and she would ask it questions, and it would hit from side to side. And she'd be like, left is yes.
A pendulum.
Yeah. But she would do that shit, and she'd ask it questions. And I'm like, girl, you might be conjuring something and bringing it to the crib. Because, like, I was, like, growing up, like, I was dealing with a lot of shit. Like, a lot of, like, energies and like things visiting me at night. And you know, like one time I like was like fucking like 21 or whatever, and I was moving to LA, and you know, like partying and shit, you know, get fucked up, come home to the crib. I get home, and we had been living in my grandpa's house because I was moving to LA, so I got rid of my apartment. I'm like, yo, let me save some money, move back in with my parents. My grandparents passed, so they took over their beautiful house in St. Paul. And dude, I was sleeping, and I was like laying down, and all of a sudden, this little girl came to my bed, and she was like dressed in white, and she was like, come downstairs, come see downstairs. I'm like, hell no. I'm like, no way.
I ain't gonna fight you.
I'm not fucking with you. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I might be dreaming, but like, you know, I'm not really thinking that deep into it, whatever. So then, like,
but you were awake.
But I was awake. I was low-key awake. I knew I was awake.
You just wanted to think you were dreaming.
100%, because it made more sense.
Right.
It felt better to me to believe that I was sleeping because I didn't have to actually deal with that shit.
Right, right.
And then I tried to play it off, and then in the middle of the night, I woke up and I saw these 3 figures, and they were black, and they kind of was ascending heights, like small, medium, large, and they were like wavy, like fucking like blobs of like black, and they just were like shapes of like just circles on the top, like heads kind of. And I just looked at them and I was like, oh shit, like something's in my fucking room. I start screaming at the top of my lungs. My parents run in and I'm like freaking out. My mom was just like, she already knew. Cause she knows. Like she knows about that shit. And so, yeah, dude. And like my dad was not a believer, but then like he calls me now and tells me like they will have something that they moved on a counter. Like, you know, they got a new fucking, what's those little coffee machines? A Keurig? Yeah. Like, yo, I put the box of the Keurig on the counter. I came back and that shit was gone. I'm like, you're lying. I swear to God, like, that shit was gone. So my dad, who was not a believer, is now a believer. Yeah. Like, it's insane. So something's going on in my family. I
believe in it. I don't necessarily know what it is.
Sounds like some Goosebumps
it shit. Is, yeah.
R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shit's freaky.
I feel that.
Yeah, so shit's freaky and, yeah. I'm not psychic. Well, I wouldn't say that I'm psychic, but you know what?
Well, it just means that you have like an antenna. Like you're more 100%. Open and susceptible to energy coming in, you know?
Yeah. And a lot
So I got free game to ask your mom tomorrow?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. Ask her everything you want to know. Ask her right now. Yeah, right? Dead ass.
Like, where the spell book at?
Let me see that pendulum.
For real.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, come on. You got to think, like, rituals and people, like, oh, that's witchcraft. That's satanic shit. But, like, everybody does rituals for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a mental.
When I roll my joints.
Yeah, it's like a mental energy thing. Like, I do rituals. I write down what I'm grateful for. I write down, like, my goals. I write down, like, you know what I'm saying?
I love that.
The little law of attraction shit. Yeah. Those are same thing. It's just energy, but, like, you're creeped out by it because you're like, I saw some fucking figures, man.
Well, because it's like when your shit's stronger, and it's like, just like with people too. Like I fucking know people. Like I know people. Same. I just know. You know what I'm saying?
No, same.
Like I may fuck with you because it's fun and I like to like party and shit. But don't ever think that I don't really know about you because I do. I just don't give a fuck.
It's almost exhausting sometimes.
It is.
Like I feel like I'm very much so a social person, but I think that in my older years I've become kind of like not antisocial, but just like hyper aware.
Yeah.
Where it's like I can just shake your hand and not to be like super judgmental, but I kind of have a forethought of who you are.
Yeah.
And I've had enough, you know, like experiences that prove me right.
Right.
With almost none that prove me wrong.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
I feel like, oh shit, like I don't actually need to read your bio. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I all I need to do is like meet you.
Yeah. I can to tell what kind of person you are based on how you greet me.
But this is how I felt about you at the shoot too,
for sure.
though.
For sure. I'm like, yo, what up?
It was just you and me, and then there was like a plethora of other girls there or whatever. Yeah. But we were just like,
well, stop.
Hey.
Yeah, 100%.
It's good that we finally get to meet now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And some people just talk too much, you know?
Yeah, about nothing too.
I don't trust. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, 100%.
Hate the small talk.